You know about, weddings and how you're not supposed to wear a white dress to someone else's wedding, right?
Yeah.
You know that whole thing?
Yeah. I think I've become extra familiar with it since knowing you, though.
Okay.
Because I don't know as a guy, if you're not really with someone, if you're not dating someone, you don't really think about it, to be honest. Because you're not going to wear a white suit, right? Who would wear a white suit
to someone else's wedding?
Yeah. Or really in general.
I saw a video or a picture of someone that did recently. Like, didn't my dad wear kind of a white suit jacket to someone's wedding?
Yeah, and we were both like, wait, what?
We're like, oh, you shouldn't have worn that.
And you were like, that's kind of dicey.
It's risky. It's a little risky there. Okay, well, this next one, it's a wedding one, and some bitch tried to wear white.
Tried to. All right.
Am I the asshole for kicking my wife out of the car on the way to my friend's wedding after I discovered that she was wearing a white dress underneath her blue dress? I, male 33, have a close friend named Tom, male 34. He got married to his wife, Lauren, female 32, a few days ago. My wife, Hannah, female 30, has never gotten along with Lauren. There's no reason in particular, but Hannah claims that Lauren is full of herself and has fake beauty. I tried to get to the bottom of why they don't get along, but to no avail. When Hannah and I attended the engagement party, she and Lauren ended up getting into an argument because Hannah called Lauren controlling when Lauren jokingly said she picked Tom's suit for the occasion. We had to leave early, but Tom was incredibly understanding of the situation. We were invited to the wedding, and Hannah casually showed me a white dress that she said she was going to wear. I snapped and told her that this dress was off limits, but she threw a fit saying I get zero say in what she should wear. I told her if I saw her wearing this dress, then I wouldn't take her with me to the wedding, period. She sulked, but then showed me a blue dress that she decided to wear to the wedding.
Okay.
I waited on her in the car while she was getting ready. She wore her blue dress like she said and had a jacket cover her upper body. As I was driving, I brought up the white dress issue and why I didn't agree on it, seeing that it's not acceptable to wear white if you're not the bride. But she smiled and she said she will prove to me that it was perfectly all right to do that. I was puzzled. I looked at her and caught a glimpse of a white strap on her shoulder. I asked if she was wearing the white dress underneath the blue dress, and she denied it. I stopped the car and told her to take off the jacket. She refused, but I insisted. She took it off, and parts of the white dress were showing underneath the blue dress. Apparently, she was planning on taking off the blue dress when she got there, but I lost it on her and told her to get out of the car. She started arguing, but I didn't let her finish. I just told her that it was pathetic and repeatedly told her to get the fuck out. She got out crying, and I ended up going to the wedding alone, and she was waiting for me at home. When I got home, she started arguing again, calling me an asshole for kicking her out of the car, for making her miss the wedding, and for trying to control what she wears. It got too much. I had to go upstairs and stay there. It's been days, and she's been giving me the silent treatment and saying I cared more about Lauren's feelings than hers to treat her the way I did.
Oh, okay. You know how we always talk about you have your partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner.
Yeah.
You have their back no matter what, over anyone else's.
Yep.
So what does that say about this? It is innately wrong to wear white to a wedding, especially when it's so pointed like this. When people do it, I mean, there are people who kind of like kind of forget whatever and wear white, which whatever. But this is,
or they wear a dress that like has a pattern on it, but it's still mostly white. But
and to them, it's not fully white, right?
And they just don't understand that.
But this is pointed. This is purposeful, and so if your spouse, partner is doing something wrong, where do the lines fall? How far do you take this? Because like in the show Your Honor, dude's son kills somebody and he jumps in even as a judge and starts hiding it because it's family. Family comes first. And I think that's a common thing. Like, I would help you through anything, no matter what. Like, you're my kid, you're my spouse, you're my partner.
I think the issue here is the fact that, oh, you go on.
Well, I think, it's the fact that it was pre-discussed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just doesn't make sense, because now she's playing the card like, oh, you're supposed to have, my best interest over anyone else's.
Yeah.
But is that even a valid argument? And
no.
And where does that, it's just like, where does the line get drawn? Because she can die on that hill, but from his perspective, it's like, hey, I'm just trying to go enjoy my close friend's wedding.
Yeah, one of his besties.
And so, of course, you don't want to be, it's just, she should have worn the blue dress, sucked it up. Who cares if you don't like the bride? Just support your husband's interest in this wedding because it's one of his close friends. You don't get along with her, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you don't get along with her, then have the discussion with your husband like, hey, I don't love hanging out, all four of us. Why don't you go hang out with them, or you and him go hang out, or whatever the case may be. And it's just maybe better if I just, I'd rather kind of not be a part of it. That's a different conversation than sucking it up for a wedding and just going.
This is weird though.
With the hiding the dress.
So like that's the thing. Why does she have such a problem with Lauren? And I get, not everyone is going to get along. Not everyone's going to be your best friend. Not everyone's your cup of tea. Right. Whatever. But at the same time, why is she so adamant about sabotaging Lauren's happiness and like the other guy's happiness too? The dude's friend. Like, what is going on here?
Also,
does she actually have a crush on him, and that's the problem? Like, what is going on here? Because no one does this. No one does this, especially after having a conversation with your partner where he says, you're not going to the wedding with me if you wear white. That's end of discussion.
And so she wears the dress.
And she wears the
under the dress.
Under the dress. Lady.
Oh, I was going to take it off right when I got there.
I think the only thing you can fault him for is for just kicking her out of the car on the side of the road, because people get kidnapped and that's kind of dangerous. Like, he should have
drive her back home.
He should have turned around and driven her back home. But like, otherwise, like, not the asshole. Like, she is being
that is true though.
A deceptive, crazy person.
That is true. They both have a little bit of crazy, because that is kind of a crazy move.
But I feel like at that point he was like, girl, are you kidding me? We've already talked about this.
I know, but
we've already discussed this, and you still went against our conversation, and you're wearing this white dress under, and she's trying to be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
And then to be like, I'll show you, I'll wear white to the wedding and show you it's not a big deal. It is a big deal.
Right. There's a lot of deceit. I don't know a situation I could ever think of where I would pull over somewhere that isn't, it's, if you're a couple blocks from home, that's different, but pull over any distance from home or anywhere normal and just say, you have to get out of the car. It's not the kind of person
Would you bring me to a gas station at least?
No, I'd probably,
bus station?
I would probably get you home. I would take you to a place where it's like, I don't know, but that's just my preference. Besides that,
okay,
it's just the type of crazy to want to go somewhere like a wedding, wear white. Clearly, everyone's going to know. It's not like you're subtly just making this jab at the wife and at the dude. It's, you are going to be the spotlight focus. And I know that's probably your intention too.
Absolutely.
To cause this drama.
She wants to say, fuck you, Lauren, in every way she can.
Can you imagine standing there in that white dress and just being like, how are you guys? What's going on? Oh, where's the bar? I'm going to grab a drink.
She's delusional.
Can you imagine being comfortable knowing you're like the elephant in the room?
But she wants to be. She wants to be the center of attention. She wants to ruin that Lauren girl's day in any way she can. And I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised she was still invited to the wedding after creating an issue and a fight at the engagement party or bridal shower or whatever it was.
Well, that's just...
Are you kidding me? Instantly at that point, you'd be uninvited. If you're going to be dramatic and you're going to bitch at me. Also, I think it's a normal thing to be like, yeah, I picked out his suit. That's normal. Couples do that.
Yeah.
They give each other feedback on outfits, especially for wedding stuff. Like, for our wedding, I'll go with you when you go try on suits and we'll pick it together. I don't think that's controlling at all. I think that's just like helping your person out.
Yeah.
coming up with the best look for the day. Where's the
coordinating,
problem?
right? Like
what's the problem?
There isn't. It's problems are being created out of nothing.
That's why I'm like, does this girl
what's the motive?
Like him? And she's pissed that he's getting married. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
Because no one does this. Like, I would never be mad if your friend Austin and Hannah, like, put them in this situation, or any of your friends. Like, if you had a guy friend who was getting married to someone and I didn't like his partner, like, again, I wouldn't care. I would just be like, in private to you, I'd be like, yeah, not my person, but like, good for Austin.
Yeah.
Like, glad Austin found his gal.
Yeah.
I would never go out of my way to then make that girl's life harder. You have to be a serious level of deranged to do that.
Seriously. Yeah. I don't have that in my blood. I don't have that. I'm going to go so far out of my way to ruin this in any situation, even if it's not a wedding. But That's crazy. Interesting. The thought that, because before the wedding, I guess there's always the potential that you could end up with that guy. There's always the potential. They could break up. You all of a sudden break up because it's perfect timing. Oh my God, we're both heartbroken. Let's console each other. Like, there's always that thought. You can always find a path.
Yeah.
And as soon as there's marriage, it's a lot harder to
it's signed, sealed, and delivered, baby.
Yeah.
At that point, you're breaking up a marriage versus, we both broke up at the same time. How convenient.
Or you're waiting for their marriage to fail, which is,
that's a long game.
It's less likely than a boyfriend-girlfriend situation or a fiance situation. It's a lot longer of a process and a lot less likely for them to split if they make it to marriage. But
I didn't even realize they were married. I'm such a fucking idiot. They're married. They're not even dating.
So it's interesting then when you start to think
it's
about
his
that.
Wife.
Right. So when that comes into play, you got to think there's some years there, right? I mean, there are the people that get married after 6 months, and power to you. But when
there's a definite commitment for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely some years, and you definitely, when you make the commitment for marriage, I think you are pretty certain that you know this person pretty damn well.
Damn, I wonder if they had an affair before the other guy started dating Lauren.
Maybe. But when you start to feel like you really know someone and then something like this happens, were there ever any signs beforehand? How do you get so far into where you're married to someone and then they start acting like this and you're like, wait,
what the fuck?
Can you imagine if that was the first time?
I know, because this is now...
But you said that's a thing. People change after they get married sometimes.
They do, because there's a certain level of security in that commitment. But
yeah, true.
But this is like, I literally, you guys, if you are not watching, I just like slunked in my chair because I feel so dumb that I missed that like key, important, crucial, pivotal detail that they were married to, because this is now the most perplexing story I think I've read in a while to me. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So the top comment on this one, which is why I just realized this, is not the asshole. Is your wife usually this self-centered? And OP goes, no, she's not like that normally until Lauren came around. Oh. It was like there's this constant and unexplainable tension between them.
So could it be? I guess it could be that she doesn't have a crush on the dude. It could be she just resents this girl.
She just hates her fucking guts.
It's also possible.
Damn. I can't even imagine that level of contempt for another person.
Right?
So someone else goes, do you feel like there was a shift in dynamics with the friend group? Was your wife the center of attention and that attention shifted to Lauren? I may be off base, but it sounds like a jealousy or envy issue if she's only like that with one person. I know it gets thrown around a lot, but would your wife be open to therapy? Her reactions were childish and therapy could help her process and communicate her emotions in a healthier way. And OP goes, actually, no. In fact, my wife started hanging out with the group less due to work. Lauren is the same way. They only show up when there's a formal occasion. Even in holidays or trips, the women let us men hang out without them because of work schedules.
So interesting. Because then you start to think, well, I wonder if they had some weird interaction behind the scenes that the husband didn't know about or that either guy doesn't know about.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't you think you'd talk about that? Like, hey, tonight, like, Lauren did this weird thing and, like, really pissed me off and whatever. It feels like you'd talk about something like that.
I just feel like it's kind of, like, unspurred. I feel like this anger and, like, hate for Lauren is, like, coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so someone comments, like, I'm so curious about this. Why? Is Lauren beautiful in a way your wife is envious of? Does your wife have specific insecurities? The fake beauty comment is interesting. Does Lauren seem to have specific work done? If so, expect your wife to want those procedures soon.
Oh, wow.
If your wife is comparatively beautiful, ask yourself if she has mean girl tendencies or seeks validation through her looks. Anyways, you don't owe the internet anything, but there's something about Lauren that your wife is letting herself get drawn in by, and it's revealing a real lack of character.
Yeah, that's interesting.
OP goes, I think that by saying fake beauty, she means how Lauren wears extensions, eyelashes, nails, etc., and basically calling her fake for these things. But I can't for the life of me understand how it's any of her business. My sister is a pro makeup artist and uses extensions and all that stuff, but Hannah has never made a comment about it before. And someone responds to that. I'm going to ask the hard question. Is your wife into Tom? Is that why she hates Lauren? Has your wife ever dated Tom? And so going back to it, I said OP added some more info. Hannah was not like this before. It's like there's this unexplainable tension between her and Laura. I think he meant Lauren.
Yeah.
For those asking why I didn't take her home instead of leaving her on the side of the road, I have no defense to use here. I did it out of anger, and that is why I'm asking for judgment.
Yeah.
Number 3, for those who are saying that she has feelings for my friend, ? I'd like to know where you guys got this assumption. I'm just stunned that lots of people are thinking it. Maybe I'm missing something here.
Well, you could. I mean, from a guy's perspective, it wasn't my first thought, and you latched onto it pretty quick.
I just don't understand another reason to why she would be acting like this. Because no matter how much you hate someone, like, it's not your partner. She's not really in your life. So why go to such extreme measures to, like, hate on her?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I as soon as you said it, it kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
It just feels really fitting.
That makes sense because it just seems a lot harder to get to the place of, I just don't like her.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm honestly more worried about the camera right now than I was with the horses.
Really? Because the wind?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Because the ponies, you like know when they're walking over there.
I know. I think it's pretty locked in that chair, though. I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, yeah.
Good job, camera. Tripod bestie.
And the fact that a lot of people are on that as well.
So many people. So many people in the comments.
I wonder if I would have ever gotten there in my head as a guy. And maybe it's a guy thing, maybe it's not, but I do wonder.
I think something's happening here, and I think that might be it.
The shoe fits.
I'm just going to see if there's an update on this account. So he did delete the post. And in terms of updates, nothing.
Nada. Zip zero.
Crazy. And I basically read every comment. There's not any additional comments that are worth writing home about.